Well, South Korea, a supposed bastion of liberal democracy, narrowly avoiding a dictatorship. Hi and welcome, whoever is watching. Thank you for clicking on this video. Going straight to the point and content of this video, what can be done to ensure what happened in South Korea does not happen again in a democratic system? Constitutionally speaking, what safeguards can we implement? Let me introduce you to an idea I've been working on, the concept of an executive parliament. Now, I'm not talking about a parliamentary system of government, this is something different. Imagine a scenario where parliament, as a collective body, is recognized as an individual legal entity, almost like a person. This way, the parliament and the president or the head of state will be considered equal in rank and status. Here's the core of the idea. If Parliament were recognized as a single individual person entity, it could hold military rank, empowering it to issue orders directly to the military in emergencies, specifically if it were under attack by the executive branch. Of course, to make this work, we'd need some structural accommodation. First, Parliament would appoint a steward of Parliament. Let me clarify with this. This steward wouldn't be a president of parliament, but rather a sort of bridge, a person tasked with connecting the member of parliament with the parliament as an entity. Think of it like this. Parliament is a holy god king and it sits on the throne, and the steward is seated in a small chair at the foot of the stairs, responsible for translating and carrying the god king's word. To ensure impartiality, the steward wouldn't be elected from amongst the parliament members, but from an outside electoral college. It can be made up of any entity as long as it is a representative democratic system. The duty and purpose of the steward is simple: to protect the parliament. This would mean that powers to prorogue, suspend or dissolve parliament will no longer be in the hands of the president or the prime minister, but in the hands of the steward of parliament in consultation with the parliament and the wishes of the people. But presidents and prime ministers will be allowed to make a request with evidence of what the people wish to happen. The steward would also act as a manager, working with the parliament committee to ensure smooth operations and facilitate cooperation between the upper house and the lower house of parliament. But that's not all. As an entity with military rank, parliament would also oversee a parliamentary guard. This parliamentary force would have a single mission: to defend and protect the parliamentary body. Only Parliament, acting collectively, could issue commands to this force. Each MP would be assigned a rotating bodyguard from the parliamentary guard. They will rotate protecting an MP every 3 to 6 months. This will ensure that these guards remain loyal to the office of the MP and the Parliament and not to the individual members. Their purpose is to protect the MP and escort them to Parliament when they are needed in times of emergency. What should be automatic and mandatory when the head of state and government, especially in presidential type of government, declares state of emergency or martial law? All members of Parliament will automatically receive immunity from prosecution and arrest and have full rights and privileges to travel and move anywhere within the country. If the executive were to arrest an MP during such a time, it would constitute an act of treason. The MP's immunity will last till 70 hours or so after the declaration of martial law has been lifted. For the purpose of ensuring the proper functioning of Parliament, especially during emergency or martial law, the steward of Parliament would also have the power to designate alternate location as an official parliamentary site. This would prevent the executive from shutting down parliamentary operations by blocking access to the usual building. And lastly, when martial law or national emergency is declared, MPs should have the right to appoint deputy or vice members of Parliament who would immediately take the place of the MP in case MPs get killed, blown up, murdered during a violent coup d'etat. As an addition, especially for parliamentary government, don't you imagine, during a caretaker government phase, instead of the outgoing PM being acting PM, it would be best if the upper house of Parliament could take on the role of a temporary collective government. All upper house members will need to be present for decision making and live close to the parliament during this time. Every decision, no matter how minor, like approving plumbing repairs or earthquake relief funds, will require their input. I mean, sure, when it comes to security briefing, the broadcast of their decision making can be muted or blurred to protect state secrets and all. And no, no one is going home until a new full government is installed. Okay, with less than 900 words, I am going to end this video here. So please leave a like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. Thank you and